All right, guys, welcome to another episode of On the King's Dime. It's Monday, the 4th of February. We have 3 games left in the season, and we have just qualified for the finals, for the playoffs.
What a season. Good stuff, man.
Good win against a doubleheader against Brisbane on Friday and Sunday. Tough win Friday, slaughtering on Sunday.
Yeah.
And things starting to finally come together with the team looking better, putting more points on the board. And yeah, man, couldn't be happier.
Yeah. So the first game was obviously a win against Brisbane in Brisbane, 95-93. Bit of a grind that game, felt like.
Felt like it was a grind to get there, but it was so satisfying. Did you jump out and have a bit of a rain dance afterwards?
Yeah, it was raining on my balcony, and I got out there and just stood in the rain just like that for about 5 minutes. It was more I had to wash that game off. It was, look, we're not going to go into the refs straight away, but some of the refereeing in that game was pretty ordinary. But I thought overall in both of these games showed that Brisbane don't really have an answer for the way we play, especially with Randall's dribble penetration. The fact that if Ware's hitting his shots and then obviously Brad Newley's getting to the hoop, there's no real answer in that Brisbane team. Like, it's not the case against every team.
No.
But against this Brisbane team, I noticed Jason Kadee, he didn't have a good series against us in all 4 of the games.
Yeah.
But his inability to drive and create off the dribble is what sets teams apart when they're playing against us. Like Melbourne have a guy who can create off the dribble in Ware, Bryce Cotton for Perth, Adelaide have Sobey. Hey, what's going on over there?
Sorry, just replying to people commenting on the podcast. So
unprofessional, mate. Mute that, eh?
Yeah, I
have. So basically, these other teams with dribble penetration, being able to get it to these bigs around the rim when they penetrate and pull out of driving, funneling into Bogut, that's where we struggle as a team, is that kind of action where Brisbane don't have that. They really don't have that.
Well, I mean, you're playing Cam Besto at the 4 and then not really a 5, a traditional 5 in the sense. And that's Bogut just has his way. And Bogut, those little like push hooks that he does are just hilarious. Like, it's 3-point line.
Yeah, even on offense, like Besto played, or he was probably one of their better players in all 4 of those games.
Yes.
But even like he kind of got reduced down to a catch and shoot type of guy, or the odd post up where you weren't kind of going, oh, he's cooking us here. Like,
no.
You were just sort of seeing him make these post ups. He made a few buckets inside. Both teams kind of played pretty well inside in both those games. But as a style, we've watched this team get beaten regularly by dribble penetration and having an array of well-sized inside players to just kind of toss it around away from Bogut, and then you get a nice shot on the weak side where Bogut isn't, basically. And Brisbane didn't do that at all. I was actually pretty disappointed with Lamanis, safety harness.
For an Australian coach, he just really didn't have an answer.
No, and he had 4 games to kind of work it out.
Yeah.
And it was not good, man. It wasn't great. It was a bit worrying, especially for the Bullets. They kind of have a couple of good big men, Glidden as a shooting guard, and then Kadee was just a bit passive. And for a point guard against this team, obviously Kevin Lish played really well defensively, but you've got to try and exploit Randall. That's kind of your only option on the perimeter. Is when Randall's out there, you've got to exploit him on defense. And then you've got to basically go at Bogut and hope for the best, which I don't think they really did that in any of the games.
Yeah, no, they didn't at all.
It's a bit of a worry, man. I mean, he had a couple of funny comments. He made a comment about when Ray Turner obviously went over under the basket. He said that happens because Bogut flopped on the last play and he didn't call it, and he called that. And then, but X's and O's, I thought Gaze outcoached him, man. And that's not something you say lightly this season. Like, Gaze has had a few, oddball performances.
Yeah. Well, I think in some instances, Gaze has not gone to zone when he should have. We haven't shot potentially well. My one fault of Gaze is probably his non-willingness to fit situations without going outside of, you get 2 minutes, you get 4 minutes, you have to play 26 minutes. Like, this is a game's perfect example. Is Brian Bowen had 13 points in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he was pulled. And you're like...
And then he just disappeared, yeah.
And you're like, no.
In a game where we had foul trouble too.
I know. It's just like, you get him out there. He's scoring well. And it's just like, well, what do you do? Yeah.
As a coach, you kind of just got to eat that. Or as a fan, rather, you kind of got to eat that if your coach is doing that. I guess we'll start with the first game. We did have some foul trouble in that game. Bogut, I think, had fouls quite quick. And he got a technical as well.
He did.
Giving a bit of a clap or something, or having a go at the refs. In the first quarter, it was 27-26. We played quite well. 10 of 16 from 2, and then 1 of 3 from 3. 11 of 19 from the field, which wasn't too bad. And we limited Brisbane to obviously 50% from the field. But only 4 of 10 in the paint in the first quarter, which was a good thing to see. Like, our intensity was high. We did quite well to restrict them in the paint. It's over these 4 games, watching Brisbane, whenever they got snuffed in the paint, they kind of, okay, we won't do any of that anymore then. It's like, man, you've just got to keep trying, keep doing different things, go here and there. Lamar Patterson, a little bit up and down in all of these games, but... we went to the second quarter. It was 25-17 to the Kings, so it was 52-43. We had a 9-point lead at halftime, which was pretty good. We shot 40% in that second quarter. 2 of 6 from 3, which, we don't shoot threes. But we limited to Brisbane to 2 of 8 in the paint again. So, not high volumes. Like, both teams weren't playing sort of high volume basketball, but it still felt like it had a good rhythm to it. Like, we played quite well. We always feel like a 10-point lead's not enough. Like, we've seen teams
it can be eaten quite quickly.
And then obviously the Brisbane Bullets coming back pretty well in that quarter. They had 7 of 10 in the paint, so 70%, and then 9 of 12 from the field. So they shot 75% in that third to bring it back basically to a 2-point gap, which I was then, pooping bricks, thinking, oh no, like,
here we go,
blow this again. We had 8 of 14, 57%, and then 6 of 9 in the paint, which wasn't too bad. But then we held on. Like, it was a rough sort of last maybe 13, 14 minutes. It felt
long and protracted, and just like we just may not have got there in the end. That's what it felt like for me. It's like, it was an uphill battle. It never felt, never felt smooth. It just felt like we potentially just weren't going to get there.
Yeah, it's a grind. When teams reduce us to a grind, we're probably maybe 40% on the season of coming through in that grind. Yeah. Because we kind of tend to fall over a little bit.
We don't get the great last shot, although, David Ware.
David Ware shot a couple of, I think he had one really nice 3 at the end. And then Kevin Lish's 3-ball was back, which was good to see. Yeah,
man. Kevin Lish has been playing very well of late. And it's good to just in time, but not getting a lot of foul calls.
Yeah, no. And Randall gets no foul calls either. No,
and he gets axed. Crazy. He goes flying across the floor. But yeah, man, my biggest gripe in this game was Brian Bowen getting 13 points very quickly, plus 13, and then just Hoyt never to be seen again.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it?
Cole Adnam continuing his defensive woes in this game. I mean, some of the commentators are saying that, he's doing really well defensively. The numbers just don't stack up.
Nah.
He's had a good offensive season. I think he runs the point quite well. But defensively, minus 12 in this game. I think he's down to about minus 70 now.
No, he's minus 56 after the next game. So I think he had plus 10 in the next game.
Okay.
Oh, no, plus 1. So, yeah, he's minus 56 at the moment. And then Bowen obviously had a respectable, he got it back to minus 49. But, yeah, it's that bench unit, man. Like,
yes.
Still...
Look, I think Ray Turner definitely plugs that Pinot gap, though.
Yeah. He gave a bit of a lift in this game.
Yes, a bit of lift. Some scoring options around the rim. He fights for the O-boards, defends quite well. And there was that 8 minutes where you're like, okay, now we've got that 8-minute plug where it's just not going to be a leaking tap. It's just going to be a drip. And that drip has, I would love to see him put in a game where potentially Kickett isn't playing well. Ray Turner goes into the 4 and it's Bogut and it's a bit of a Chubb lineup.
Yeah.
Because Kickett's slow, and if against a fast team like potentially Perth.
Yeah, or Melbourne. Yeah,
in Melbourne, he's just going to get exploited. Especially if he's not back down Kickett or shoot Kickett. He's got to be high in volume shots to warrant his place on the floor. But, Kickard playing 17 minutes at -10 and Bowen getting 11 minutes. It's like,
yeah,
didn't like that. But again, Ware played quite well. I think he's really stepped up. Obviously, Travis Ware has been taking his place, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's the
Travis
conspiracy. Bogut didn't have a particularly good game, but back on the rebounds offensively, back on the rebounds defensively.
He just had foul trouble, and somebody else had foul trouble too.
Adnam had 3.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but which
you don't really care if Adnam fouls out.
Kind of changes the way the lineups go, especially with Bogut out. It feels like when he comes off the floor, everyone gets a bit panicked and a bit frantic, and what are we doing here? We've got to go back to kind of playing basketball without a talisman. And Bowen really slotted into this game. You're right. He slotted in and he played well. He shot a couple of threes. Got to the rim. I think he got a nice dunk. It was a nice tic-tac-toe dunk. Finishing a lob play from Randall, I believe it was. Then looking at the rest, Ray Turner, I guess we should talk about him in general. It's in the first couple of games you thought, what is this guy providing? Like, what's this all about?
I think he just needed to get a bit of fitness behind him, to be completely honest with you.
He's looking a lot better, but I think it's probably more of a fitting in thing. I think you kind of, in this defensive scheme, you kind of have to understand your role and play it properly. And I don't think it should probably be said the rest of the team seems to just go, all right, we all have to box out and have to team rebound, basically. Make things happen and make it work for us. So there's a general lift of the team itself. But of course, Ray Turner obviously grabbing boards. David Ware grabbed a couple of boards, I believe, in this game. 6. It's not too bad. Brad Newley grabbed a big one, I believe, in this game as well. What sort of nickname did you want for Ray Turner?
I don't know.
Did you like Ray Puffed?
Ray Puffed.
The Marshmallow Man. I like that.
T-Puff.
That's not too bad.
T-Puff.
But then he shot a jumper in that second game. And I liked calling him Rainbow Ray, which was pretty good. Rainbow Ray Turner.
It was a nice jump. He's got an elbow. He has an elbow.
He has an elbow game. It's
Hallelujah.
Good. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, the refereeing in this game was very just all over the place. They were missing calls for both teams.
Yeah.
Blowing things here and there. There was another one of those barge fouls where someone's not even setting a screen. They're just stepping in and just giving someone one.
Yeah.
I think
it was Tarangi.
Yeah, Tarangi. I don't know who it was on.
It was on Ray Turner.
Was it on Ray
Chopped
Turner?
him, yeah.
Just absolutely destroyed him.
Dropped the shoulder. That's flagrant one.
Yeah, we didn't even go to the monitor for that.
Yeah, it was just like, and then Ray Turner jumps directly in the air in the second game.
Yeah.
And, Mick Vicona, what his name is?
Yeah.
Vicona.
Yeah, they were getting a bit chippy against him.
Steps up and gets up underneath him, flips him over, and it's just like, oh, we got to go to the court, we got to go to the monitor. And then like, it's a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
It's like you drop the shoulder for a shoulder charge, and you're like, no, that's fine.
Check that?
No, we don't even check that.
I felt like all of them were a bit chippy with Vicona the entire time. Like Bogut was giving him some lip in a couple of the earlier games. Felt like he was an energy guy for them, the Brisbane, and maybe was giving the Kings a little bit of lip. So maybe that was why there was a little bit of afters on that. I thought that was a little bit dangerous, man. I'm always wary of
chatting.
Like it's one thing to just go up and not know like someone was there and put the but he had the ball, saw the guy coming, and then gave him a bit of and I thought fair enough. Ray Turner getting upset. It's a little bit like that Adnam one where you're like fair enough getting upset about that.
Yeah,
man. Like it's a pretty dangerous kind of thing. And then we've got to be like, oh, that's not on, man. Like you can't act like that. You can't retaliate. Like fuck off, man. Like these people, like it's a fine line between someone getting like brutally injured
and their neck.
Like at least allow someone to get a bit upset about that, which but yeah, anything else about game one? It was a pretty solid performance in general.
It was a good all-round performance with a couple of good little chip-ins, but yeah, bench unit not being as quite as needed. I think Ray Turner really shined this game. Bowen played quite well, and our starting 5 are now looking like probably the solid starting 5. If we had a better performing bench and the ability to go to better rotations. And that's my problem with Gaze, is that he doesn't go to the right rotations all the time. He goes to the same thing over and over again based on this quarter, that quarter. The only time it changes is when there's foul trouble. Like, we should have seen Den for this game. Bit of length, bit of quickness. Because Bairstow isn't the quickest, Hodgson isn't the quickest, and Glynn isn't the quickest. They're not athletic dudes, you know what I mean? They're kind of like that old school just floppy body kind of basketball players. Go to a bit of quick and transition. Randall still dribbles all the way up the corner, just like, oh, no one's around me. Get your fast guys in there. Deng, Bowen, cutting, getting to the rim. Some nice little lob jams for Randall. And that's what needs to happen more. I think we can be a better team in transition. And when you look at Illawarra, they kill us in transition because they've got the chub guys like Jordan Jet, fast guys that get into the spaces and kick it still walking down the court. You know what I mean?
Or
struggling.
Trying to keep up. Randall obviously played really well in this game. It's whenever he's dribble, like his dribble penetration is really important for this team now. And I feel like now the team is starting to understand that like Randall's had to fit with what Bogut does for this team as a guy who can handle the ball at the 5 spot. Now I feel like people are starting, like in our team, they're starting to realize, oh, when Randall's going, we have to go with him rather than, no, we're doing what we're doing, all right?
Just let ISO Randall occur.
Because a couple of times, like he would drive past people and Newley would like slip out and get a 3, or David Ware would slip into the corner and get a 3. Like you could see the guys starting to actually work out how to, oh, cool, we can do this for this sort of thing. Whereas at the start of the season, it felt like a lot of Randall driving just kind of went nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think he had that lob for Bowen. Did he have a lob for Bogut? I believe he did as well. Which it's going to be important going down the stretch against all of these other teams. I think Cam Glynn, I don't think he had a point in this first half of this game. And then he just lit it up. He had 3 of 6 in the second. And then Tarangi had 3 of 5. He had a few late threes. Patterson again was just a bit...
but how's it going? Just Bogut. Too intimidated by Bogut. Even kick it to some extent with the length. I think Lamar Patterson's about 6'9", so kick it 6'10", 6'11".
Kevin Lish was defending him really well as well.
Wasn't allowing to get those 3 points off. Only took 1 3-point on the night. Didn't hit it. Good game all around. Should we move on to the great game?
Yeah, 107-91 at home.
At home, Randall was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Bogut was stunning. Our bench didn't really need to turn up that night because the starting 5 was so good. Ware played well with a couple of timely threes. Dog's going nuts.
Yeah, they love this game.
He's about to get smacked. He's a naughty greyhound.
So we'll wrap this up and then you can go and deal with that. I was saying to you before we started, like this game felt like every single player's strength came to the fore as an individual and it all fit together really well. Like Kevin Lish was shooting really well off the dribble, 4 of 8 from 3. Brad Newley off a live dribble was getting to the rim. Like that's kind of what you
dishing.
want.
He was dishing it to everyone. 6 assists.
I think he had
6 in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, yeah. Jerome Randall's drive and kick game was on point, and he was rinsing people by around like handling, like putting the sauce on at the elbow. And everyone would go flying, like, oh, where's he going? And then he'd just get to the rim, which was good. And then Bogut was playing really well. His inside game was working in this game, grabbing boards. And then David Ware spotting up. He hit 2 or 3 as well from the 3-point line. I think Ware's someone that on paper you can't go, or on the stats sheet you can't go, wow, what a player! Like look at this box score, how good is he? But in the game, he does a lot of these X's and O's things that work for the team. That you're not going to look at a player and just go, wow, what a player. You look at him and kind of go, this guy's a bit like useless. But he does a lot of good screening now. Like he's actually screening properly. He can leak out to the corner and hit the 3 at a decent clip. He rebounded quite well in this game. He fits with the bench unit too sometimes, which is pretty good. Playing a bit of small ball 5. Then Adnam obviously played well off the bench as well. He had 4 trap fouls, some foul trouble. But the intensity in this game, man, kick at 11 points as well. He had 1 of 1 from 3.
Yep.
And then Ray Turner played pretty well off the bench as well, which was good to see.
He did indeed.
And then Bowen, I didn't think Bowen played all that well in this game.
He didn't play all that well in this game, probably from the fact that he didn't get hot in that last game. Should have played 30 minutes and scored 40 points.
Yeah, the effort stuff, you watch him play and you just go, great effort, great hustle. And then you just like foul. Like what? It's great effort, great hustle. Like why are you calling fouls? And
because they call fouls for everything.
It's crazy. Like his effort never ever seems to get rewarded, or he goes to the rack and just gets chopped. And then you're like, how's it not a foul? Like what the hell? Like why is he not getting anything? But I thought he's got a lot of he's got to have a big role in the finals. I think he's got to fit into our team.
Yeah.
If he's going to play 17 minutes, which I think the rotation will shorten, and I think it's his minutes that are going to get eaten. I think Kickett's probably going to be your locked-in 5 that's going to come off the bench, and then Adnan's going to run your point. But I think Bowen's going to just supplement in.
Yeah.
I wonder if his minutes are going to get
It's kind of been blessed and not. If we get an injury and someone goes down, and we've kind of not had the players to have those backup minutes for long periods of the season, which been
touch wood has been really good.
Really good, but also, Tommy Wilson hasn't had a crack all season. Looked good preseason, but hasn't really had a crack this season. But yeah, I think Bowen can step up on the big stage if he needs to.
Yeah, I do also think he can. Anything else from this game that tickled your fancy? I've got some stats here for Brisbane in general that I'll go through after if you've got any other stuff to talk about. No,
that's it. Let's go through those stats.
So Brisbane, obviously, what are they shooting at? I think they were shooting at about 46%, the best in the league, I believe.
Yeah, they're 25% against the Kings, I think, or even less than that.
Well, coming into this game, they were shooting at 25%, so 14 of 55 from 3. They finished up 28 of 92, so 30% against us.
Okay.
Can you explain that? How are teams that are like phenomenal 3-point shooters not shooting well
Adelaide's
against
the same
us?
As well, although they turn up some nights and just shoot lights out.
So in the first 2 games, they had 5 of 24 and then 9 of 31. So high volume, like let's jack up threes, boys. Knock out then in the third game, obviously they had 9 of 19, so respectable 47%. And then this game, they were kind of jacking up threes when they were behind 5 of 18. But it's Kevin Lish. I think Kevin Lish is really good on ball, and he did a really good job against Patterson in both of these games. And the other thing, when you look at Randall, you see a cheeseburger there, and you're like, I'm going to go with this guy, and I'm going to destroy him.
Yeah.
But teams don't seem to shoot well against him. It's really weird, man.
And they don't seem to shoot behind screens as well. They seem to ISO shoot rather than shooting behind screens, which is a little bit annoying.
Which, I'm not sure, because we shot, obviously, from the field, we shot 48% in games 1 and 2, and then 52% in these last 2 games in the home and away stand, a total of 52% from the field, which is fantastic. Like, it's high intensity basketball that I want to see us play, because I think it's going to be what wins us games against the tougher teams. Obviously, can we just play Brisbane in the semi, like I was telling you?
Yeah. Can
we just play Brisbane in the semi, and then Perth and Melbourne, you guys play against each other. We'll play the winner of those 2 type of thing. Because I don't know if we can beat those 2 teams in a series. I think we've shown we can beat Brisbane in a series. But yeah, the 2 tougher teams, it might be a tougher sort of... Well,
we can go on to the Melbourne matchup if you want to and see kind of... Well, let's go to the table first, because we are guaranteed a finals berth now. Adelaide have only got 13 wins with 3 games remaining, and I imagine we will win a game in the next 3 games. We've got some tough times. Melbourne have got a game in hand at top of the table. Perth are on the same as us, but a better and differential. Brisbane need to win the next 3 games, and Adelaide need to be beaten. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? If we won all games, Brisbane won all games, we played them first round.
Yeah, that'd be great if we finished topped. Top, and then they finished in 4th.
Yeah,
that'd be perfect. I think that's what we're gunning for. Like, we've got a chance. We've got to play Melbourne and then Perth. So
we've got to beat Melbourne. If we don't beat Melbourne, then our season is pretty much null void, because they will be there come final night, and so it's just like game of 5 series.
All 3 of those games we played against them have been... This is the night, boys. We're going to do it tonight, boys. Let's do it. And then we've come up short. We've been the better team, I think, in all 3 of those games.
Yeah.
We just
can't get
the execution at the end of a couple of them, and then couldn't win the other one. They kind of had that McCarron tip in that other one. Perth is the other team where you kind of, it's just a dice roll. But I still think Melbourne, Perth, and Sydney are the top of the tree.
Yeah, the top teams.
Adelaide's a team where we could probably beat them if we execute.
They've just got some elbow bigs that can take Bogut out of the key, which is how they've beaten us.
And Sobey, who loves to dribble and penetrate.
Penetrate, and some good 3-point shooters. And got like a big Aaron Gordon looking dude who's playing power forward. They just got a big lineup, and they can match us for size. They're a little bit quicker, especially compared to our bench unit with Kickett.
Wiley's
Jacob
probably,
Wiley.
Yeah.
He's like, your big Aaron Gordon looking dude.
And then Drimich loves to scrap as well.
He's just a scrap.
Big problem.
Yeah, and then your Fitter and Turner hits 4 out of 4.
Brendan Tice.
Oh, Jesus.
But it feels like this team, like, all right, guys, we're turning up. We've got to hustle in this game and we've got to fight. You're not going to roll the dice and bet on Sydney in a game like that. Like, if you know going into a game it's going to be a struggle and the other team's going to scrap their hearts out. Our team isn't that. Like, our team are an X's and O's execute
they're
and
an
play
execution.
good basketball team.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest worry going into finals. I just really want to beat Melbourne. Obviously, that's on Friday.
And then we've got a big one against Perth on Sunday at 5 p.m. as well.
And in Perth, is that?
Yes, it's in Perth. So we know what those are about. We know what we need to do from a basketball perspective, and we know that the matchup's going to be mad. And then following week we've got a game against Cairns. We'll preview that next Monday probably. Yeah. And then we head off to the finals. But we could probably wrap that up now as a good win.
It was good win. I think if we play that basketball every night for the rest of the season, it's
we're going to win.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a really good chance of winning, but these different things come into it. It's going to be interesting to see Ray Turner against the better teams.
Yes.
Hopefully
he does give us that kind of tap that's gushing water. He just makes it into a drip, and that you are getting your better plus minus out of your starting 5, but he's there just to glue that hole to try and stop the leaking when Bogut comes off the floor.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I guess we've got 3 more games.
More games, and obviously
time.
we'll be doing some postseason work, and then that would be that. But thanks, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Like down below. Comment. We're always happy to have a chat, and we're trying to get a special guest in for grand final.
Don't go off too early on that.
We're trying. We're trying. Very special.
We'll get
guest.
someone. Yeah.
We'll get someone in. Have a bit of a chat. So yeah. Peace out.
All right. Take it easy, peeps. Peace.